Hello YouTubers and welcome to another episode. Today's episode, as you can tell from the title, we get to do a lovely 2,000 meters on the rowing machine as fast as I can. Yesterday I went over some tips that you can do the day before a 2K. Today I'm going to try and use those tips. So I've got my plan sorted, I've got my food sorted, my fueling yesterday, my fueling today, and I've got my plan sorted as well. So we're here at the Scottish Rowing Centre to do the 2K today. I've got to go get my mask actually. We're going to do a pre-paddle on the rowing machine just to help wake up the body. Not a necessity, but some say that it's good to get the bad strokes out on the pre-paddle. So essentially the warm-up for the warm-up before the warm-up, if that makes any sense. So we're going to head into the Scottish Rowing Centre behind me and get pre-paddling. And then we've got the 2K later on today. So hopefully that you enjoy the journey through 2K day with me today. Oh yeah! And we're out here with Yam, the biggest fan of the Yam squad, isn't that right, Yam? Post fueling up after the pre-paddle, the warm-up of the warm-up before the warm-up. But now it's a case of just waiting, chilling out, yes, relaxing pre-2K, making sure you don't spend too much energy, and also trying to deal with the nerves as well. Like I said in yesterday's video, the nerves for me are almost a sign that you care. And it's also a case of trying to deal with those nerves, not trying to let them get the better of you. I know that's easier said than done, but for me, it's a case of, okay, I care about this test, I'm getting a bit nervous, but it's also a case of trying to harness those nerves and use them in the 2K. It's really easy to use them negatively and think, I'm really nervous, I need to go out and do everything, especially in the 2K, and you end up going out too hard. It's trying to harness those nerves and think, okay, I'm using this energy in the 2K and seeing how I get on. Yam's ready for the 2K. Going to cheer us on, isn't that right, Yam? What's your 2K? Let me know in the comments below what you think Yam's 2K would be. Definitely sub 5. But now we're going to still chill out a little bit more. I've got some time, an hour or so before the 2K itself starts. I'm going to get a good warm up in, which for me includes about 4 or 5K of actual distance, some steady UT2 rowing, some middle intensities, and then a little bit of sort of a higher intensity row as well. But that's for later on. Right now, taking some deep breaths, enjoying the lovely day, a classic test day where the water is flat, the weather out is gorgeous, but we're inside doing a test, absolutely the usual for test day. So fingers crossed, Yam squad, for my 2K itself. Here we go. And we have made it outside of the Scottish Rowing Centre post 2,000 metre row on the rowing machine. It's a beautiful day outside, if you didn't realise. Probably a bit too hot for the big jacket and the big hat. But anyway, the 2,000 metre row, a little bit of an analysis of the 2K for me today. So it's my season PB, fastest one I've done this season, by about, I can't remember exactly, by about 0.5 to 0.8, I think. Last time was 53.8, I believe. Today was 53 dead. The 2K itself, I had the splits from last time, and I wanted to go a little bit faster in the first K, which I did. I think I ended up going about I went about a second faster over the first K, but the third 500, I stepped on, but not quite as much as I stepped on in the last 2K, and then the last 500, I had a wind, let's just say, and stepped on, as you probably saw about a minute ago. And so how I'm looking at the 2K itself, it was faster, so good step forward. And it's just a case of, okay, what does the score mean to me? The score is still 4 seconds off my personal best ever, which was only last year. So you can always kind of look at the scores and think, it's not a PB, this is rubbish. But honestly, getting a PB doesn't determine if it's a successful outing or test. Today I would say it was definitely a successful test or outing. It's a chance to prove how the training has been going. Especially the last couple of months have been really sort of nailing the training, nailing the recovery and everything, which seems to be working for me. Excuse me. And the 2K today felt very good and very controlled. I think what I would like to change about the 2K would just be have a little bit more confidence in myself. Usually I have a slower first K and wind it into the second first K, but today it was more of a case of the same approach, but I felt for the first time in a while that I could have stepped earlier, whereas generally I step on at some point, whether it's last 500 or in the third 500, and feel like, it's a bit risky, let's see how I get on. Today I stepped on around 700 and felt like, this is obviously looking back rather than during the piece, I felt I could have went not necessarily a little bit faster through the last few hundred, but more stepping on and having the confidence in my ability to hold a fast pace throughout the whole 2K. And looking at my actual PB 2K, it was faster in the first 1250 than this one. And obviously it gets to a point where today's last K, so it was a 28.9 and a 24.2, so we're approaching a 10-second drop if I'm doing 30 for the first K and 25-ish for the second K, a 10-second drop over first K to second K. And realistically, there's not necessarily a limit. You can go slower in the first K and even faster in the second K, but the difference is going to be much more difficult to hit so if there's a 10-second difference now, and to get my PB, I would look at a 12-second, maybe a 13-second difference. If I was to hit a 130 first K, I would have to try and hit a 124 second K to be able to PB. And that probably is much more difficult than if I, in the first K, just stepped on whether half a split, maybe a split, instead of 30s, did 29s, and then I wouldn't have to step on so much in the last K. Hopefully that makes sense, and it's kind of what a lot of people say when they see my 2K scores, when they see such a negative split, they say, oh, you're not trying hard, you shouldn't be able to step that far, you shouldn't be able to drop the split that much. But in reality, it's the type of athlete I am, for one part of it, and the other part is, yes, I need to have more confidence in myself to be able to not necessarily only step on that much at the end, but step on just a little bit earlier and for a little bit longer, so that I don't necessarily have to lean on the big negative split towards the end. if that makes sense. Hopefully it does. But that'll be it for today. I'm going to try and enjoy this beautiful, beautiful day we have here in Scotland. We're above 10 degrees, believe it or not. That is in Celsius, not quite Fahrenheit. So I don't think the water will be thawing. And actually this weekend we have a lovely little, not a race, but a chance to prove ourselves on the water. So with the sculling training, or the training on the water, and the Lamborghini name yet to be determined, we're going to see how that goes. So hopefully that will be a lovely video to watch. Make sure you are subscribed for that. The button will be down here somewhere. And if you have a 2K coming up, hopefully it goes well. Good luck for that. And let me know in the comments below what you think of today's video. And lastly, as always, remember to subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that like button. And I will see you in that next episode of sculling, racing, proving, seeing how we get on, trying not to fall in. Oh, you.